Welcome back to the LCS and the State Farm Analyst Desk. Final day of regular season play, and before we get into our conversation about the MVPs, if you couldn't tell that from what's on the screens behind me, I just wanted to call out Raz's shoes. Raz, please show the audience your
snap,
shoes,
I can do it!
because your shoes, these are some of the dopest shoes I've ever seen.
Okay, it's all right.
I really like them with the Jordan socks. That's a good little combo you got.
Yeah, you know what? Athleticism.
You gotta be ready at any moment.
They play into it with the white
Hand style.
icon on it all. Very few people could pull off
Thank you.
shoes like that. You make me jealous.
Show your shoes.
I will not.
Hey guys, 100 Thieves
I will
changed their
not.
roster.
Screw you. Okay, let's talk about some stuff. Going in to 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses, we wanted to talk a little bit about Honda MVP because after today, we only have a few days to submit our votes for that conversation. It feels like this conversation has been the most difficult of any that we've had to date. So we had each of you do a little bit of homework, and we coalesced what would be maybe the average ballot in terms of considerations for MVP. I'm going to pick out a couple names. I'm going to make you make the defense for that person. Make the case. So Emily, we are going to start with you, and we'll start with the number one team.
The big-
and their
the big
junglers.
board.
We gave them the big spot
Nice.
because they're number one in the league.
All right.
So Emily, why should Spica be Honda MVP?
This is actually an incredibly easy defense for me. I have been considering Spica in MVP contender since about mid-split. I think he's been incredibly consistent, whether TSM has been running something that they're incredibly comfortable with, or whether they were doing their experimenting with, melee mids, where they didn't look as comfortable, where, theoretically, if you were playing that kind of matchup with mid-jungle, you'd have the mid roaming a lot more with the jungler. And I thought he did such a good job of mitigating when they didn't have pressure. He also has been in a position where they've put his lanes, let's just say, a little bit behind. It's very difficult to jungle from that position, but if you look at the way he plays around that and still comes out ahead in a lot of times and is still able to make plays, he's such an important part of whenever TSM is being proactive, it's always around Spica. He's very in tune with what his team wants to do, and I think he is the heart and the core of the reason why this team has been performing so well.
Exactly, and I think just the fact that they are performing so well, of course, is a boon to his resume. Raz, I'm going to give you a different test.
All right.
And that test name is Fudge. Cloud9. So make the case here, because this is not a first-place team, right? And yet he has been called out a number of times as the top performer for Cloud9 in both their ups and their downs.
Yeah, you shine a little brighter when, your team isn't performing that well, but you are the person. You're the cream of the crop. I think he's the best top laner right now in this league. And I think, in the beginning portions of this split, when he was on Lee Sin, he was so damn good on Lee Sin consistently. And whatever position they put him, either in a carry position or far more frequently in a facilitating position away from the jungler, I thought that he has just been the shining light of Cloud9. And so if it isn't going to be the best jungler in Spica, then I would look towards the best top laner in Fudge.
What a world we live in when you have a multi-time MVP blabber on your team. You've got an LEC MVP and one of the most winningest players in history with Perks and Sven on the roster, and yet you, in one of your earlier splits in the LCS, get called out as a possible MVP in Fudge. Those are two players not taking to the Rift in our next game. And that's where I want to transition now, Mark, to the 100 Thieves squad and the EG squad that we're about to see play against each other. Let's start with Closer. There's been a big debate when it comes to 100 Thieves and how well that team as a whole has performed, about how you isolate a single player and call them out. I'm going to make you make the case for the jungler.
All right, so going with Closer, I think the thing that he has had his entire career in North America is a bit of a liability, you could say, in the mid lane in terms of raw laning potential. He's always been paired up with someone who, was more supportive or just struggling a little bit. He finally has a stud in the mid lane, and that has allowed him to play the game however he wants to. And he has looked so much more proactive with that help. He doesn't need to cover lanes nearly as much. And the jump in performance from spring to summer is gigantic. He has been so good about exploding games open, whereas before it was a more passive play style. You can see that even when his team is doing some pretty troll things, like that Olaf game where they all hop the wall and he's like, we're on Baron. He goes in 1v5s and kills 3 people, walks out of there and is like, this game's not over. And so there have been a ton of these kinds of moments in this split throughout the entire split where Closer has had these insane pop-off plays.
And I want people to put the recency gun down, right? There's all that recency bias. Put it down. Full split.
What about the recency blow dart?
No, put that down too.
Okay.
It's the full split. And so that's why you look towards closer in Abadaga, and you must be easy to defend those players.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember the Diana performances from
Yeah.
closer being so damn
14
strong.
kills or something. That
Well,
game.
and when you talk full split, that's what makes me more curious about a player like Abadaga. And Emily, I'm coming back to you for the case on him because he was the biggest conversation piece for the first few weeks of the LCS in its entirety.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it all comes to mid lane control. And then additionally, when we were talking about 100 Thieves and when they were doing so well, what the big, I guess, difference was, and it was his flexibility in the mid lane, right? Like, we saw them play both versions of the mid-jungle matchup where he's playing for closer and his control and his, like, buffing closer up is getting closer ahead and allowing him to make those plays. And then we saw the reverse. We saw closer playing for him and then just him absolutely, like, obliterating people and taking over entire games. And I think if you're looking at, like, a difference maker in terms of if 100 Thieves are going to contend for a championship, what is the main difference coming onto this team? It's been Abadaga, and it's been how well he can perform for this team in the mid lane. That's kind of what they were missing, was that stability last split, and they have it, and I actually still think they have a lot of draft flexibility with him as well that they didn't previously have.
Well, last piece of the MVP puzzle, or at least the puzzle that I created for you here today, is Jizuke in the mid lane. And Mark, I'm going back to you on that one.
Easy!
Really? Easy?
Yes, this is the most explosive man in the LCS. You just can't peel your eyes off of him. There's the Jizuke fan club on his pro view, you know, and as much as that's all meme stuff, he's actually been incredible. He has some of the best laning stats in the entire league. He also, while doing that, has some of the most proactive numbers in terms of kills and assists at 15, and so that has given him monstrous gold leads. He is the engine of which the entire EG system has warped to incorporate. And I think when we talk about most value provided, if you are changing your entire team to play around you and play like you, and then you bring that team to one of the best records in Summer Split, like, goddamn, you're valuable.
This man tries to win lane, and he does. And that's something that's been a consistent factor for him. And now that the team has gotten better, mid-game, late game, he's who you want to be, like, charging into the enemy team in a team fight.
I don't know, y'all may have just sold me on Jizuke, but we'll have to wait for those ballots to be submitted. For now, we're handing it over to Pastry Time and Crumbs for our fourth game of the day. Take it away, gents.
There we go.
Thank you, Dash, and hello, everyone. As 100 Thieves have decided to field their Academy roster for this match, which honestly, not all that surprising. It's going to be Tenacity in the top lane, Kenvi in the jungle, Ryoma in mid, Luga in bot, and Poom on support. Now, a few of these names are familiar to LCS fans, but for others, it's their LCS debut, and what better way to join than facing off against evil geniuses and a familiar Academy face in Contract.
You're facing off against an EG that really wants to win. This is not an EG that's gonna take it easy because the implications for Evil Genius in this game are massive. A win here ensures third place because they're winning the head-to-head against Cloud9, which means that their first playoff opponent would be Dignitas. However, a loss would put them in 5th place, meaning their first opponent, Team Liquid. A pretty big discrepancy in the difficulty that those opponents would make in playoffs. So EG will be giving it their all, which means this is a phenomenal matchup to debut an Academy team.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, 100 Thieves locked. Might as well rest your main players and let the Academy guys have a shot on stage. And these are no slouches. Yes, their opponent is pretty good in EG, right? That's a tough team to have your first LCS game against, but 100 Thieves have just churned out talent like there's no tomorrow. This is a very star-studded group of Academy players. I actually like that they're bringing Contracts in. If nothing else, like, Kenvi is one of the best junglers in Academy, and Contracts has the most experience of any LCS player who's played in the LCS so far this split against him. So this actually strategically feels like a very good thing, as he's going to get Zin's out first off.
It's really interesting, too, that with Contracts here, 100 Thieves have respected him more than Jizuke because Diana is now being banned. And lastly, we've seen Jizuke really be targeted with Rise bans in the first set of rotations. That has put him on less of his comfort-style champions like the Syndra and the Twisted Fate, and he hasn't been as active. So now it's going to go into the second rotation as EG haven't selected that, and 100 Thieves can still ban away that champion. So EG clearly prioritizing the bottom lane and the jungle before giving Jizuke a matchup. And frankly, I think it's because they're counting on Jizuke's laning prowess to create an advantage against Ryoma.
And, you know, it feels like a pretty safe bet. Jizuke plays to basically win every lane he plays. Ryoma certainly in his last appearance in the LCS had pretty mixed results. I mean, was never a player that was massively pressuring you 1v1. He was much better, you know, in team fights, helping the team out. Zoe obviously comes to mind, although that's not a pick that is particularly in the meta right now. But I think that's fine, right? Ryoma's kind of the veteran on this squad of very young players that's kind of gluing everything together. Definitely look for Kenvi and Tenacity, especially together. Kenvi loves to go top lane typically, although they are very flexible in how they want to play the game. And if you don't know who Luger is, you might after this game. Of the few Academy games I've gotten to cast this split, which unfortunately have not been very many, Luger is an absolute animal. Like, we talk about, you know, the Turkish League just kind of constantly churning out these talented young players. Luger is among the youngest and most talented I've ever seen come from that league. He is so good.
I think he would be one of the top ADs from Academy this year, and frankly would be surprised if this 100 Thieves team stays together for Academy, because I imagine that a lot of these players would be promoted, whether by 100 Thieves or other organizations looking to include them in next year's roster. So I think Luger with the Varus is going to be a really exciting one to watch, not only because of the laning prowess, but the arrow accuracy. We need to see where he stands on this pick, because thus far, though, against the likes of a Braum, it's not going to be that easy, and 100 Thieves is already doubling down on keeping that range. Two ways of dealing with the Aphelios. Either you commit to the hard dive, or you poke and keep a distance. Already with the Braum, pretty difficult to go for the dive, so they're going to double down on poke, and they're going to give Tenacity the option to have a Jace in the top lane. Just poke away, but now EG can answer with a Twisted Fate and can pick on the Jace. We just saw what Team Liquid had to deal with Perks and Fudge just camping Jace despite being able to defer some ganks. It's just so hard. He dies to a single gold card stun and the combo with a top laner.
Yeah, really interesting stuff here. EG kind of, you know, keeping it pretty simple. It is nice to see Braum floating his way back up in the meta, it feels like. It's going to be alongside Danny there. Ooh, Wukong locked in. So one of the dangers of picking Jace in the spot they did.
Yep.
And I see, like, of all the players to, like, throw down the gauntlet to, I feel like Impact is someone you should stay away from. He is deadly when you give him counter pick, and he doesn't get it that often.
That's why it's a test. That's why it's a big test for Tenacity, one of the most hyped top
Ooh,
laners in Academy, and going up against Impact, having a Wukong and the Twisted Fate should be really interesting to watch, because he can run it down against the Twisted Fate, against the Xin, and 100 Thieves will just solidify their composition by just being poked. They're trying to disengage, they're trying to team fight, they want to avoid EG hard committing into them, and they have plenty of options on the side of EG. You can both engage with Twisted Fate once he has the stopwatch, Impact with the flanks, and even Contract getting into the mix, but they can also kite back. So if EG chooses to just keep a distance, I think 100 Thieves will have the advantage. So we're going to have a lot of back and forth dancing around these objectives, especially early, since both these teams have over 1,000 gold leagues in their respective leagues at 15 minutes.
Yeah, obviously, you know, a different league now for this 100 Thieves squad, but we'll see how they do up against EG. I'm pretty sure this is Impact's first Wukong game as well. Maybe in his career, but definitely this split, if my brain is remembering things correctly, which unfortunately is not particularly reliable. I also feel like 100 Thieves kind of lifting the TL homework after the last game, right? This comp is very similar to what TL just played, but definitely maybe a snapshot of the future.
I mean, you copy the homework, you have to adjust some things, and you can keep some too. So keep the mid lane performance, that's a great, but everybody else has to pick up the scraps as well. We need to see a better bot lane, some more synergy with the jungler, as well as defending these dives. And on the side of EG, they could do the same thing as well that Cloud9 did. A lot of early dives, because they do have, in fact, the same top, or rather, mid to bot core with the Aphelios, with the Braum, the Xin, and what this combo allows you to do is that since everybody relies on auto attacks, the Braum gets so much value from getting so many auto attacks on a single target.
And this is the other place where Braum often gets value. Level 1 is EG going to send 4 people into the brush down here in the bottom lane, and they are all the way through to that top brush here.
Yeah, looking for some action, and look at how 100 Thieves is playing. They're so defensive level 1. You can see in the top side of their jungle, they're just chilling, right? The 3 were out here just lingering around, trying to see if they could spot an invade, but they will see it.
That ward is so good.
It was very nice.
That feels like, I mean, speaking of homework, that feels like almost perfect preparation, right? That ward is like just left of where the part they took and the sweeper they used. So they have full info. Luca completely safe from that invade, which is always good to see, given that he's the Varus. Yes, he has Cleanse. Yes, he has Flash, but doesn't want to have to use those before the lane starts. So EG, I like the attempt, right? I think when you have Braum, you should have a level 1 plan.
And
But
TF.
unfortunately, it doesn't work. Yeah, especially TF as well.
Well, 100 Thieves do know that that ward went onto the blue buff because Luger spotted that out, so they will not start on that side of the map, and instead Thresh will just linger around, trying to see, are they trying to go for an invade again? Do I have my sweeper up to clear it out? But despite him clearing the ward, the fact that it died at 138 just means that, well, Kenvi didn't start there, so EG still have the information that Kenvi is starting on the top side.
All right, and of course, don't forget that Lane by Lane will be continuing throughout playoffs. You can check out all the previous episodes at youtube.com/LCS. We can tune into the fresh Piping Hot installment this Saturday, Crumbs. LCS is everyone's favorite game show. Back at it again, still throughout the playoffs.
And lane by lane.
I guess still at it, not back.
I tried to win a few times. That is a
How'd that
difficult
go?
game show to win. One time it was really just gifted by Kobe, so you really just have to get the favor of your contestants and the chat.
That's true. Can be tough to win them over, as bottom side has had a lot of back and forth of trading here. Looks like the race to level 2 is on, but it does seem like 100 Thieves will win it. Poom already too. Luger now going to move over in XP as well, and Ignar and Danny going to have to play with that respect.
Yeah, and so they can push this wave because of Kenvi's pathing. He's gone from red to bot.
Poom, excuse me?
Good joke.
That was such a good hook. Into the Ignite. Ignar very low. It does not die.
It's not a heal bot lane from EG, so that's going to really push Ignar back, waiting for his potions to heal back up. So this is some good advantages from 100 Thieves, and now is where the action will really begin because the junglers are both pathing to the top side and they will be contesting for this scuttle. But you see that Ryoma does have priority here, so this could determine where this scuttle fight happens.
Well, I think now they know where Contracts is because he just hit the Scryer's Bloom. Tenacity will get revealed. Kenvi actually suspecting this as well. Maybe going to meet him here for the Scuttle Crab. Oh, I love the patience. Kenvi now going to see him. There's the stun. Mister's out. That's going to instantly force that flash.
That's the priority that 100 Thieves has earned themselves from the matchups they have in lane. The Jace is winning topside against the Wukong.
Oh my god, that's filthy. Danny forced to cleanse.
That's already a lot of summoners. 100 Thieves is really crushing EG in this early game thus far. Every lane is winning. They have advantages and potions everywhere, and it's not what you would have expected from the Academy lineup to be actually winning in the lane. You would think that it would come down to teamwork or some sort of draft, a matchup in the...
Oh, Ignar's
That's
just
a kill.
dead. That looks like first blood. The Unbreakable is going to keep him alive, so we'll hold our breath for that first kill. But Luger getting aggressive there. Danny does have his flash, but Luger will just force him back. His Contracts now has to be here in the bottom side.
That was a really good flash from Ignar because Luger would have been able to flash and have the auto attack proc mid-air, so he had to get out of that, waiting for the regen. Bot lane still winning, and the second
Double
that they're
crab?
starting to play aggressive, Kenvi is down here as well to back his team up.
Yeah, double crab. Forcing Contracts' flash on the top side, and the push that the top side got give him the first one on the north side of the map, and now Kenvi down here to take that one away. It's funny, Contract also has been on 100 Thieves Academy in the last year.
He knows how they work on the inside, so having the inside man to give him the strats, but I think this lineup has evolved so much since the time that Contracts has been in here, and so that information probably won't be as relevant as just the fact that, well, Contracts has played in Academy this year, and so just knowing what Kenvi's tendencies might be should be what Contracts can bring to the table.
Yeah, fortunately, stopping the squad that has built up synergy, that has only gotten stronger with, again, a lot of young North American talent for the most part. Super cool to see this team looking good in the early game. And to be fair, they picked for it right. You have Jace, you have Varus.
Yeah.
Poom took Thresh very early, which is one of his signature picks.
Nice. That's a good stop. That's a really good stop. It's going to allow the wave to crash, so Ryoma could miss out on some CS, and TF is just really interested in getting advantages in shoving out the lane and resetting first, because now he can go back at level 5, then he'll have his full inventory with the Dark Seal and Potion for level 6, so he can now shove up with the Lucidity Boots and get reduced cooldown on his first ultimate. That is where EG is looking to play make off Jizuke's first ult. If every lane is getting shoved on, that means that every lane is also susceptible to being ganked by a TF.
Ryoma's first back also going to look pretty nice here. Does get some components though. Dark Seal Boots and the Amp Term, so didn't have a full item. Also TP's back very quickly, so we'll get that shove out first. He's going to have a move if he wants to here, although nothing really to go to right now. This is going to hold the wave a little bit more and put a ward down and then continue shoving. But level 6 for the Azir. Jizuke is not going to be too far away, but it is going to take him a while to reverse these waves and, you know, be able to get out and roam to use that ultimate. And Ryoma's job, of course, whenever you're playing Twisted Fate, glue him to his turret for as long as you can.
Glue him to his turret and secure vision on the sides. Already they have a control ward on the right-hand side, which will be really useful for Ryoma to match roams. But you gotta get some wards a little bit deeper than that. This first shove in by Ryoma will allow Kenvi to get that first dragon because the bottom lane is also winning. But there seems to be some trouble in the top side as there is a big farm discrepancy between Tenacity and Impact.
Well, Luger there on the Lantern is going to be safe. Does get gravity gunned, but going to be A-okay. It's just been a constant push. Oh my god, Luger is 25 CS ahead of Danny.
It's been rough.
What is going on?
Well, you were hyping him up at the start. You were saying
he's good.
How good Luger is. Well, Danny was the prime candidate for Rookie of the Split, and Luger comes in, and has he hurt that? Is now a Blaze Olive going to win that off of a single performance from Luger? Maybe.
Imagine. Well, we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, again, they picked the aggressive 2v2, and they are playing aggressively, which is good. You do want to see them play to the conditions they've drafted for this early game. Jizuke getting low. Ryoma starting to really make that poke sing there in the mid lane. As Ignore, again, going to look for something, but they're even down in XP as well. This is horrible for this early game. It's so hard to lane right now.
It's a big deal here because Luger winning out on this matchup means that the Varus is going to get ahead, and lethality is going to be so deadly. It's Tommy time. You got that right. And he's winning lane against Jizuke. Now, it's a matchup that you would expect to go this way, but he has consistently kept Jizuke at bay. And so far, we have not gotten a even possibility of a look from a Twisted Fate roam, which just feels so good when you're counting on your scaling and team fighting like 100 Thieves is.
Now, as a reminder, I know a lot of the players on this 100 Thieves lineup are, you know, pretty new, very young, and a lot of upcoming talent. The exception is Ryoma, right? He actually has like many of the Oceanic players, a long career in OS, and with some international appearances as well before that. This is definitely not his first time on Azir, I can tell you that much. He'll be very happy to have this champion back in the meta.
This is a champion that, after seeing how PoE has been playing it, how Jensen has been playing it,
Lantern positioning so good. Oh, are they going to get greedy though? Contracts looking to make them pay. Poom's going to be the target. Ulti out there from Contracts. The playback is nice, but First Blood finally arrives, and it's for EG as Luger will make it back under the tower safely.
Ooh, that's a good look out of EG, but I felt like Poom could have gotten out of that. He had flash, so he could have flashed right after Contracts hit the charge, and he wouldn't have been knocked up.
Impacts looking for the solo kill. But who is going to get solo killed first? Everyone's going to walk away with not too much HP, with Impact feeling a bit sturdier. And here comes Jizuke. Tenacity knows he's dead. Doesn't even give the assist over. That's actually a good play.
That is a good play because now they get a Rift Herald. So you get the Twisted Fate ultimate, and he doesn't get anything in return for it while you get a Rift Herald. So it is a decent answer from 100 Thieves, who now get to crash this wave topside. But instead, wait a minute, they're waiting to see if EG is going to greed out for some...
Oh my god! Ryoma with the wraparound on Jizuke, the TP coming through. They're trying to make the biggest play of all time as Impact will get the counter kill, but can Tenacity get something back? He will take out Impact. What a bold play by Ryoma.
They thought that Impact had base, so they figured it's going to be only Jizuke, and by the time he commits, since Impact had stopped his recall, they get surprised. If they were right in asserting that Impact had base, that would not have looked so silly. But because Impact stayed, he gets the outplay and gets another kill.
I mean, definitely not the trade they were looking for, but very creative kill by 100 Thieves. I like it. Let's watch it again, actually, as Kenvi and Ryoma with a very unorthodox combination to wrap around the enemy mid laner in top lane as the... Let's watch it again.
Yeah, so they suspect that there's just no vision here, but, you know, the reason why I think this still is probably not going to work is because Jizuke still has flash, right? So knowing that Jizuke still has summoners and it's so far removed from immediate follow-up from Kenvi means that if Jizuke is paying attention, not at shop, tabbed out, he's probably going to react to this.
In some ways, almost good they were able to get Impact because they might have got nothing.
Yeah.
If Jizuke could just flash away to safety. But the overextension does cause a trade. EG will take it. They're up in gold still, even though the early game has looked good here. For 100 Thieves, they couldn't convert into any kills and get that first blood gold, but still fighting here, only 1,500 gold down, as Ryoma starting to feel the pain of the blue buff Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and that pain is now turning around. All the lanes that were winning for 100 Thieves are going to slowly be pushed in now, because now Twisted Fate is going to be able to shove up against Ryoma. He's got the blue buff. He has an assist while Ryoma has died, so he's going to be slowly falling behind here. And the kill in the bottom lane went over to Danny. So the advantage that Luger has is somewhat undone, and top lane is already won by Impact. So now the tides have turned in the laning matchups, and this is where Jizuke's ultimate will really come in clutch, because now you can set up dives anywhere you go.
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem here. Is Ignar level 6? Jizuke at it again. Lantern's good, though. Dodges the ulti, still gets stunned by the gold card, I believe, but there it's 4v4 right now on the bottom side of the map. As Kempi's rotating down alongside Ryoma, Danny is busy smashing minion waves there with his turret.
You can see that minion wave and know exactly why it was 100 Thieves didn't fall for that. The wave was so pushed up, and they knew that Jizuke had just shoved in the mid lane with ultimate available, with the CDR boots, but a fight still happening.
Another big play, but it's Poom that's going to be caught up. Now Contract's getting a little low. Kempi trying to find the fight. Ulti's on to Contracts, really wants it, but he's not going to get it. Impact instead going to get the kill. He'll grab the second as well as Contracts finishes it off. And 100 Thieves again. They combine for a play, but EG punished them.
EG with the TP advantage in the top side of the map get a huge turn there. Killing the mid 2v2 is really going to hurt. It's where EG want to be playing around. And because Impact is on the way back to top and he's so fed, Tenacity isn't even able to get a significant advantage from plates down there. It's going to be a dragon as well for EG, and all of a sudden, the early game leads that 100 Thieves had built from the lane are all crumbling as EG is playmaking left, right, and center.
I mean, it's one thing to get a lead, it's another to convert upon it. So the Dragon Snowball is stopped by EG as Contract finishes that off. As I watch this one again, how did this even start?
So they're all under sight, and that's what 100 Thieves is thinking that they can play make. But you gotta remember, Ryoma gets immediately exhausted, so he doesn't have that much damage, and he's paired up with a Thresh. So there's not a lot of DPS here. The healing from the Xin is too high. I think Jizuke still had Summoner Spellbook and healed through that as well, and so there's just no way to actually take down Contracts on that. And that's just Ryoma not having enough damage to go for that play. If he had a completed item, maybe you could have made that happen, but a crucial exhaust from Ignar means that by himself, there's just no chance of taking anyone down.
And by the time it's off, Sinzo, well, it's upon you. Impact is 2v1ing Tenacity with his clone here in the top lane. Tenacity getting low, but not dead yet. But Divine Thunder a finish for Impact feels pretty spooky for Tenacity's Jace.
He's got a recall there, or Impact will have an opportunity to just dash onto him. Gonna ward and be safe before going for it, but TF
here comes Jizuke. Tenacity though knocks him back. That's a good start, but the wildcards are enough, and Kempi can't make it in time.
A little bit of a sidestep would have saved Tenacity since Impact already committed the dash, but Jizuke throws a nice card and stays alive.
Contracts is like gonna 1v1 Ryoma can't create enough distance. Contracts with a flash! What a play to extend the W, but Ryoma is gonna zip on out of there.
Really looks like EG was taking notes from Cloud9's game earlier with the flash, wind turns to lightning.
Some nice hands there. Poom with a good double play, gets the hook with the damage. Just a little too much. A stopwatch maybe can turn it back around. Luger firing off here as EG will take some poke, but it's not enough to kill them. Shield bow already done for Danny. Gonna make it a tough ask there to kill Aphelios.
Yeah, that's the key. Despite Luger having his Duskblade completed, Shield Bow is just too strong right now. It means that you don't have enough damage to burn through Danny. So they have to back off, and despite them winning that trade, it means that Danny can go back to the Gromps, to the doubles rather, and then return to the lane and shove out. So despite EG crashing that wave, they still have their AD carry pushing out, and they will be the ones denying some experience from Luger.
And again, you know, that one kill over on the 100 Thieves side as Jizuke finishes off the first turret of the game. It's mid-tower up against the Zero, which is a real bad time. His Contract is one level down, but it doesn't look like it here. Tenacity in trouble, but does not die.
It forces a recall. There's not enough potion and healing that Tenacity has in his inventory to stay alive. So now Impact's going to be able to shove out. And once again, they will keep the Jace down, and that is just not the position you want to be in this matchup. It's already been pretty difficult with how we've seen Impact trade against him. And you can look at the gold here. Everybody is winning on the gold side of EG. Even Ignar has more gold than Poom, so everybody's winning their matchup.
I mean, Jizuke is like basically 2,000 gold ahead of the richest person on 100 Thieves, so Obviously, Twist of Fate passives kicking in a little bit there, but still a very impressive showing here for EG. Despite all the pressure 100 Thieves are throwing at them, which did look good, when you can't actually get the kills and truly snowball the game, EG just find their windows, and now all of a sudden, it's like the early game you played actually very well in didn't exist, because EG got all the kills you were trying to get.
EG has been just so good at playmaking and finding those opportunities. And I gotta go back to draft, and one thing that I thought 100 Thieves did that was a little suspicious was the Echo ban in the second rotation instead of Twisted Fate. Not a lot of Echo has seen play around the world, whereas Twisted Fate I thought looked pretty good from Jizuke, and now letting this play go through when you wanted to play a carry toss, that makes it really difficult. It was played well against the lane, but it's gotten out of hand now. Jizuke has found so many avenues to play make, and I think that this is a pick that a lot of teams want to practice, specifically before playoffs happen, because this is something that if you succeed on the first game, it's going to have to be respect banned. And now, EG, if they can secure 2 wins on it, will ensure that this is in the lineup and is going to be in the thoughts of whoever they have to play against.
I think people underestimate like Jizuke's ability to play the map, right? Because he's so aggressive in the 1v1. But his roaming on lots of different champions, I mean, I think about his Rise, most people think of like, oh, he's like so good at like doing a bunch of damage and carrying, and which is true, he is. He's very good at all the Rise lane matchups, but his teleport usage, his ult usage on Rise, that's the thing I really look for. Just the way he translates his advantages around the map. And on Twist of Fate, that's literally all the champion does, as Danny's going to get hooked up here, but it looks like bait! Impact going in there, round the side is Contracts, boom! Gets obliterated! And the TP in from Tenacity's maybe looking a little too late, as EG still hungry for more on the dive. 5v4 right now, Contracts gonna get stunned up, damage is there, no ulti, no hope, as Kenvi now gonna turn into Xin Zhao. 200 Thieves have more. Kenvi looking for an impact though, gonna dash away with the clone. Ryoma looking for the big play, just barely misses the scoop as Ignar flashes out. And the damage is there, but it's not enough. It's just 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
And in the meantime, Jizuke has shoved up the mid wave, but can path to the bot side. There's pings onto the mid wave though, so he's gonna commit to the tier 2 tower and let 100 Thieves get this one. EG is too low to try to turn, and I don't think Jizuke is actually going to get this tier 2. So he was absent from this fight. But remember, because he still has his ultimate, he can now answer when EG makes it back onto the map, since 100 Thieves will have to recall after this. So EG will now have the next play with a TF ult. So 100 Thieves, despite winning that out, have to be really careful, since EG now have tempo.
Yeah, it makes sense. The actual 4v4, not the 5v4 I thought it was. Makes life a little easier for 100 Thieves, even though the initial dive was good from EG. It is a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, and they'll trade off some towers, they'll get a second dragon, as they'll watch this one again.
They got kind of baited from a really nice hook against Danny, but it's so difficult to follow up on this because of Braum. There's an exhaust, and then there's a Wukong that was hiding in the brush that really caught them by surprise. I don't even think they knew that Contract was waiting on the wings. And then when EG commits overstepping, this is where the 100 Thieves composition shines. Contract stepped a bit too far, and they have to kite back, deal enough damage from a distance before Kenvi can commit. Otherwise, he's just going to die. The rest of the team can't really follow up. I think this was a good look from Ryoma. If he really wanted to commit on this, he had to flash. But I think he's respecting that Danny also has his summoners and has proven to be a pretty good AD carry when it comes to flashing in response to people trying to dive.
Danny's got good hands. Don't test that, man. He'll flash it. Don't worry about it.
Good hands, Danny.
And of course, a bagel there for Jizuke in the team fight. Impact actually should get more credit. He was the extra man with the Wukong clone in that particular dive. And now he's down the bottom side with Jizuke this time. Tenacity in trouble, stunned up, and the tower is going to fall. An incoming 4v1 as Impact flashes in for the ulti. Tenacity will be melted, and Kenvi's going to have to run.
This was exactly the play that we foretold. EG would have tempo and an advantage with Jizuke that 100 Thieves needed to respect. They thought that the turret that they had previously defended was still safe, but it's just way too low. Impact does so much damage, he can take this out, and the TP doesn't even come through.
Kenvi won't chase. Doesn't know where anyone else is, and Contracts did cancel that recall just to make sure he could stay involved. TP up to the top side, Jizuke retaining the initiative EG have on the map. Happy to burn the TP to stop Ryoma from pushing in the lane. Ryoma understandably respects it and leaves. Doesn't want to have to probably 2v1 whoever else is coming up to the top side alongside Jizuke here, and he'll reverse this wave in top and get things pushing in the EG direction still.
Yeah, and that just means that because he wants this wave pushing, he needs backup from the rest of the team. Otherwise, he's going to overextend. Despite having Flash, the stopwatch, it's a Twisted Fate that can be easily picked off. So he just shoves out the wave and then returns to group up with the squad. And you can see a kind of line that EG is making that connects every single member together. And if anybody oversteps on that line, it's usually a sure sign that somebody is out of position. As one member moves forward, the rest of the team feels confident in being able to advance. And now they've grouped up with the Xin Zhao to crash the wave that Impact is holding. And while the team is doing this, and they see that their 100 Thieves team is revealing in the mid lane, now Jizuke can find the position to either return to the top side or even look for an ultimate if he feels like there's an advantage to be gained.
It's always one of the things that's tough in a very open map as Contracts with the flank alongside Ignat. Poom in trouble. Does get a nice play, but will fall there as Danny is going to collect that kill. Now Impact looking to wrap around again. Kenvy's going to find the stun. Ryoma, they're forced to ulti back. And Danny going to get the kill regardless. Impact lives through the dive he started. Now Jizuke gets the gold card onto Luga, who is going to have to cleanse out of there. And it's 2 clean ones for EG already.
100 Thieves was thinking that they could push forward and crash a wave to have some breathing room because of how much EG has been shoving both top and bottom. But the second that they overextend, Poom is too far up, and it's going to be really costly because now at 21 minutes, a Baron, the only hope they have is a steal.
Jizuke the target, but again, it's a consolation prize here as Kenvy not even going to get it. Jizuke flashes out. He wants the kill. He's chasing for it there, but again, now Ignat's looking to reinforce, and EG can go over the wall if they need to. Tenacity hunting, but the Baron could be the prize. Unfortunately, they don't have the vision for it. Now they're going to see Kenvy, though. Does he leap into the pit? He is not going to go for it. Does have the flash. Oh, actually, he is going to go for the steal. Almost finds it. The Lantern actually going to keep him safe. Love the attempt for 100 Thieves, but it is EG that grabbed the Baron.
It was a good try, and Jizuke doesn't mind burning summoners there because he just wants to keep 100 Thieves at bay. He wants to do as much damage as possible, deter the possibility of a steal to be executed well, and because they get this Baron 40 seconds before the Dragon, they're still going to be able to go and get that objective. It's not going to be a trade that 100 Thieves can make. So let's take a look at how Jizuke started this up, because he still has Flash, gets the double Everfrost, which is really clutch, and then he can just wait. He knows that there's a control ward, that 100 Thieves does not have vision, and his job is already done because 100 Thieves can't safely approach. Tenacity?
1v1, Jizuke looking to make it happen. Tenacity exhausted Jizuke. Making this 1v1 look very easy. Tenacity running the wrong way. Is he going to try and take a tower as the exit? He will! He gets it over, but Jizuke is going to kill him. And unfortunately for you, that is extra Magi stacks now for Jizuke. His mid lane, another player starting 4v3 actually. His Impact isn't even here yet. Luga ulti goes wide as Impact's not going to make it happen. No flash though, so he will reserve the initiation as EG continue pushing with the Red Bull Baron.
He was really hungry. It was such a good angle for the Wukong, but there is no Cyclone available just yet. And in fact, they could just wait. Now Jizuke is pushing the top side. They're going to guarantee themselves a tier 2, and someone has to respond to Jizuke now. And if you split the carries up, whether it's the Azir or the Varus defending, it means that EG will easily be able to take down one of these turrets.
All right, well, Kenvy is playing with fire here in a 1v4, trying to keep vision of his own jungle, but he does dodge out. Viego with a pretty strong amount of mobility. Unfortunately, there is no access to this dragon. So kind of the one thing that 100 Thieves maybe could have leaned on would be this possible Dragon Soul, and that will be denied for quite a bit longer here as the second dragon is claimed by EG. And this gold lead, about 9,000 ahead for EG. For a while there, it felt like maybe they could close the gap, but now it feels like a tough one to bounce back from.
Those are some very large crutches that you need to lean on. At that point, I don't even know if you call that leaning on. I think that's just support for basic functions, because now 100 Thieves just does not have an avenue to come back into this game. This is the dangers of these kinds of compositions, that if you fall behind, who is going to start the plays? Who can actually flank and engage? It's going to have to be Ryoma looking for an angle with a Shurima. Does have the Hourglass to pull that off, but other than that, that's a pretty easy one for EG to not only telegraph, but stop.
All right, Kenvy again looking for a good attempt there by Poom. But the hook does not connect, and now the EG counter engage is going to happen. Contracts looking for the angle over the wall, does not connect the W though. And of course, 100 Thieves know it. They have to keep Jizuke in the back of their minds at all times. He's top lane right now, as Ryoma is trying to deflect impact here from the bottom half of the map.
It's so much pressure on the side of 100 Thieves because they know they have just a few seconds to look for a play on the remaining members. Not only before... Oh, wait a minute.
Jizuke, the one coming in, Ryoma trying to get out of there. Everfrost, though, tying him up forever. Pushes him back, goes golden, 100 Thieves. Maybe looking to come back around. Ryoma will live for now. Impact now the target. Does go down, shut down for Kenvy's going to turn him into Wukong. And now 100 Thieves diving through. Contracts, ulties them back out, but Kenvy goes back through. Ulti up from Poom. Kenvi diving in there with the second charge of the ulti that he got. Now the TP back through for Ioma. Gonna try and make a big play here, but he's got no ulti. EG flashing out of there. And Kenvi looking for the stun, but does not connect. And 100 Thieves, I think the chase is over. Tenacity, though, with a big snipe, finds a second kill.
That's a good response from 100 Thieves. Well played by Ryoma with the ultimate and the stopwatch to keep Jizuke at bay. When he stopwatched in, the rest of EG's feeling like they have to linger around him to keep him alive. But Ryoma, wait a minute, where's your dash? You're dead, buddy.
Contracts. Ooh. Not gonna get the kill. He wants it. Doesn't have flash. Oh my god, the dash. It's so long, but now maybe he's gotten baited. Ryoma back over the top of Contracts, fighting everybody off here. Just doesn't matter. Jizuke gonna reinforce, and is something crazy gonna happen? It's so Jizuke, close. You never know.
So close.
But not this time.
And he TP's back, right? He just wants to continue to pressure, and after all is said and done, EG continue to shove out these waves. 100 Thieves just can't catch a break. So, Jizuka TP's in from mid lane looking after Ryoma. I thought he would use stopwatch on the gold card, but instead waits until impact is already committed. And when Jizuka is low here, tries to put a gold card, has a red, but by this time impact is already extended, has a flash to get out. There was just no opportunity to do so. And this is where 100 Thieves just doesn't have enough damage to burst from afar. They have to respect Danny, and they can't really chase. The Shurima shuffle is already down, and EG's really good at kiting back between Braum, Aphelios turrets, and Twisted Fate. They can only get a single kill, as Ignar does a fine job in the retreat. The thing that happens often with a tank retreating is that because they end up being faster, they end up positioning themselves behind the carry. But as a tank, you always want to be closer to the enemy and create a buffer between the enemy team and your own carries.
You happy to give up kill there? I mean, not happy, but, you know, he'll give it up. Nothing else bad happened there, as 100 Thieves do get some gold back, but it is a long climb to get over the gold mountain EG have built for themselves. As 100 Thieves are still trying to defend. 30 seconds till Baron is back up. Minute 20 until Soul Point will be available for both teams. It does feel like the map belongs to EG right now, and the 5-2 turret score, and the fact that you have a level 16 Twisted Fate with 12 Magi stacks, 3 items, including a Lich Bane and an RFC, kind of adding to that holistic map pressure that EG currently exert on 100 Thieves.
And they're going to keep that up until the objective spawns, and this is where 100 Thieves has to look for an opportunity before EG can collapse multiple members. Since they will be fanned out in all 3 lanes, the opportunities for 100 Thieves are so slim because of how quickly they can collapse on each other. They've shoved out mid and bottom, Jizuka pushing bot, and this is the perfect opportunity to start the Baron because you're applying pressure on 2 points from 100 Thieves. You have vision, you have impact guarding this. This should be secured, no problem.
Oh, wow. I love that. He's just actually popping the ulti, getting into the flank position. Kenvi, again, going to get kept out by Impact. They don't need to kill him. They just need to buy enough time to protect this Baron from being stolen. Impact maybe going to just ult Kenvi. He's so far away there. It's Kenvi going to make his way in. Oh. Kicked out by Contracts, though. Beautifully played by EG to secure the Baron. And now the chase is on, but Kenvi's going to live. Ignar pretty low, but Impact popping the ulti through a little too far forward. Play out of Poom. Maybe going to make it happen, but Impact flashes in, and Jizuke finds the long-range card to get the kill as Luca does trade for Impact.
That was so sick from Contracts. I think this is the kind of thing that you really get used to in Academy, just seeing junglers consistently try to smite. Contracts,
a little too far forward, flashes out. This time he's going to be okay.
He's hypey. He's hypey.
Yeah.
He just made a really sick play. Kenvi was so hungry for that steal, but with a clutch ultimate, kicks him out. It's kind of like the Lee Sin play where you kick somebody out of the pit and ensure that there's no chance of a steal. With the ultimate from Xin, he gets that same objective and ensures that there is no chance of that one, because that Baron, had it gone to 100 Thieves, would have really bought a lot of time from them to hold on and prevent any pressure from being applied on multiple lanes.
Yeah, Contracts basically just shutting the door on this game. They're more than 10,000 gold ahead, and for me, like, yes, the play is simple for Contracts, but it's the speed at which it happened, right? Contracts instantly knows to just hit R and kick him out of there, because to Kenvi's credit, he did a lot of work to even get in position to try and steal that Baron.
Flash and ultimate to get in the mix. So he was really committed for that, knew that that's the only kind of play you could go for. And I think that's one of the things I've really loved with the evolution of the game, is that before you never played for steals. It was all about, oh, you have to ensure that there's never any chance. But now you really have to count on your jungler to know what to do in these situations, to have the fingers to outsmite, to use the abilities that he can to ensure that the chance of a steal is minimized, but it's always there. And that makes those Baron moments moments that much sweeter when they go well.
Even though this is obviously now a very one-sided game, as Kenvi, Flash, Lichbane, Everfrost. Kenvi gonna try and get out of that. I didn't even know he could do that.
And he's out. All right, he gets Twisted Fate's Flash, and EG is not able to push any side lanes with the Baron. So that just buys time as it's 50 seconds on the Baron power play. So it looks like EG probably won't get any objectives out of that.
As I was saying before, Kenvi had to clear a pretty massive gap with the Viego ulti to get out of there. Unfortunately for 100 Thieves, it is still Baron pushing here. As EG continue to claim towers. It is actually a joy to watch these two junglers play against each other, because there are just like the hands on these two players, real good. And even though obviously it's very contract favored, Luger gonna get blown to pieces, not yet. Not enough from Danny out of the Inferno multi, but Luger's gonna have to go back to base.
It's not going to hurt that much because there is no wave crashing just yet, but you have to send multiple members now to defend us.
Hey, look, it's
Twisted
Jizuke.
Fate is going for help on impact to take down the turret. That's the first one cracked.
He's actually the highest tempo gamer. He like constantly is applying pressure, TPing the place. I mean, you can see why his TF's so effective. He's just everywhere, constantly forcing you into situations like normally, you know, you force 1 or 2 times. As now the force comes through for EG. Impact getting the spin around, but 100 Thieves cutting it out decently still. Inhib will die there in mid. Jizuke with a death cap now finished will help blow up the second inhib as Danny claims the last hit on it. And now 240 to the Baron. Nice hook there from Poom onto Ignar. Ulti out of Luger is not gonna wrap, almost connected onto 2. But 100 Thieves, they kick EG out of the base, but they lost 2 inhibs as a result.
They punish after chunking Luger so hard. Normally, nothing would have come of that one because you had multiple members defending still. But high-tempo Jizuke taking advantage of the cooldown reduction that he already has no problem just spamming his globals and finding any avenues. And once you crack those turrets, 100 Thieves just can't defense against a dive. Jizuke does have heal for speed. I don't think 100 Thieves can really chase this.
Oh, now they're going back in. Who's chasing who? That's a solo kill. Jizuke didn't even need the TP, but Impact's there to join him instead. Ryoma with the early ulti. Impact not going to punish, but Jizuke just keeps on getting away with it. 20 stacks in the book now, Crumbs.
Who said that a Twisted Fate did not have enough damage? Because I just saw one shot against a Jace.
I mean, this is the thing, like Jizuke just, again, constantly forces you into making decisions. Good or bad. He is there pressuring you, fighting you. And, you know, normally a champion does it 1 or 2 times, right? Oh, I have my ulti, I ult you. Okay, that didn't work, maybe I flash on you. Jizuke's like, I'm gonna flash you, I'm gonna gold card you, I'm gonna TP on you, I'm gonna Twisted Fate ulti onto you, I'm gonna ult you again. You know, it's just like the amount of time Jizuke makes you answer difficult questions is the thing that makes him such a good mid laner.
He makes you think. Whether you're an opponent or watching him, you're just thinking when you're watching Jizuke.
And it's so nice that EG have kind of rallied around that style and now play at a similar pace to Jizuke. No one's ever going to be as fast as him, but they're going to try as Kenvi's diving through to try and make it happen. It's EG. We're going to try and put the nail in this coffin, but Contract's ulting up early as Kenvi. Maybe going to fancy a sniper. 100 Thieves know they've got plenty of targets, but the hook does not connect onto Contract's tenacity. Desperately trying to fend off Baron up minions as Contracts is kicked out by Ryoma's ulti. Good hook on Jizuke, but not enough follow-up there. And Jizuke is low, but he's not dead, and that is not what you want. As Danny on a rampage going to get one. Everyone's diving back through. His impact into the fountain laser will get sniped. Okay. And the Nexus is open. There's no inhibitors left. There's no towers left. There's barely any game left to play, but 100 Thieves still fighting. Ulti out by Luger, hits onto one. Nice stasis there. Danny gonna get hooked up and killed. Shut down there as Kenvi possesses one more. A double kill out of Luger, maybe make it a triple as the Guardian Angel is gonna put Contracts back up, but only to die to Luger, who gets the triple. And 100 Thieves, the game's not over yet, but it's looking close.
Hey, I like that they keep on fighting. They found an avenue on this, right? That's a crucial ward that may not be spotted here. There is a control ward that is really obvious for 100 Thieves to take, but Jizuke has teleport. It's an open Nexus with a Twisted Fate available, and if multiple members commit for this dragon, that is the avenue that Jizuke could take. With a Lich Bane, there is so much damage on this. Here he goes. He's going after the dragon defense.
This is a great TP by 100 Thieves. Like, they need someone else to make sure Kenvi doesn't die. Jizuke, though, I think correctly just lets it happen, right? It's not the Soul Dragon, it's just Soul Point. And now Jizuke can just harass them, right? Again, this is the thing he does. He's looking, he doesn't want to look too close, because if they're in the brush there, he's going to die. but he at least sticks around long enough to make sure no one is trying to stay out on the map longer than they should be.
It's really important that he doesn't commit for that because the Baron is pretty much free. You know that 100 Thieves has to stay inside the base, and this is where they go full lockdown. You just cannot afford to leave. You need multiple members to defend against Twisted Fate, or else you're going to be backdoor. You remember, you can't just have Tenacity defend against him. He's getting one shot by Jizuka, so you need more than one in the defense. It means you can't leave, and that means that it's a free Baron for EG. And once they siege from multiple sides against this, it doesn't look likely that 100 Thieves will be able to stop that final push from EG.
And EG not even going to take the reset. No need to. There's very little to still get. Jizuka has 6 items. He's done. Cosmic Drive was the last one. Oh, he sold the Magi's. That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
He could.
Wait a second.
He didn't need to, right? He had already
died.
Yes.
What's going on? There's no way whatever you bought is more efficient than that Magi.
It doesn't send a message. That's what it is. The Magi's really sends the message. Here comes the backdoor, though.
I'm so upset.
Tenacity.
Alrighty. Ulti out from Ignite doesn't really connect, but Jizuka and Impact gonna delete Tenacity off the rifts. Nexus is exposed. Poon trying to find hope. There are so many minions in the way. Make it 2 as 100 Thieves will be routed back towards the fountain. Jizuka finally will be killed, but the Nexus is the cost they pay as EG will secure themselves third.
Third place and a matchup against Dignitas for the playoffs. This is looking like a really strong run from EG. They finish strong. They add more champions to Jizuka's pool, and now they're really gonna be answering the question of how good are they going to be in playoffs. Because what's really interesting about this pastry is that if they beat Dignitas, they actually face off against 100 Thieves in the upper bracket as well. So despite putting the Academy lineup here, it means that they will still have to face off against each other.
All right, well, that was a fun one. I think 100 Thieves, like, again, bringing that lineup in, I think a lot more competitive than plenty of people would have said. Definitely fun to see them play. Maybe an expected loss at the end of the day, but still a nice fight put up, despite how one-sided the game ended up being.
Yeah, I think that 100 Thieves' early laning phase was really the shining light for them in this performance. Everybody was winning. You had a lot of advantages from the bot side, but I think it started to go downhill off that first play into the top side when Impact stayed in the brush. Double kill down there. Jizuka started to make plays around the map, and when the Twisted Fate was unshackled from the mid lane, that's when they got robbed.
You let Jizuka out of the cage and unleashes upon your entire team. We are going to be stepping away, but when we return, it is Dash and Jizuka in the Verizon post-game interview. We'll meet you there.
Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon post-game interview. I am joined by Jizuke of Evil Geniuses as third place and third seed into the postseason is locked up, my friend. Jizuke, that's what I want to know first is what's the energy like over there at the EG compound as you guys wrap up the season in quite a positive fashion?
I guess it's bittersweet. I think we always at the end of the season you think, what if I won this game? What if I won the other game? Maybe your seeding changes. You are first, you can be second, and yeah, we take the third. But I think after our big win streak, we expected much more.
Wow, interesting to hear, particularly when you take a look at the standings and you isolate Summer Split. EG, 100 Thieves, and TSM all have the same Summer Split record at 18-9, and maybe that's indicative of what you're talking about, where it does feel like EG is a top team. In fact, Sven actually in his interview earlier today said that he felt EG was a top 2 team alongside TSM when looking at playoff threats. So I'm kind of curious, is that the same sentiment you have? You feel like EG is a better team than ultimately third place shows?
What should I say to this? Yes, we are the best team ever.
There it is. Let's go.
No. It was me. I don't know. Like, it's weird to rate ourselves. I think. What can I say though is that we don't really have issues playing against anyone. Just us is our worst enemy, and if we keep improving, then we can get the wins. Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, I look forward to some more of those wins. Let's take a look at the postseason because I think that's where all sights are set at this point. With the third seed, we already know what your matchup is going to be. It'll be Dignitas in a best of 5.
Yeah.
So just, right off the bat, what are your kind of first thoughts when you look ahead at that matchup?
Yeah, actually today was I felt like the mood was pretty nervous because if we win, we go against Nitas, and if we lose, I think we're TL or Cloud9. So
Exactly.
I mean, it's nice to get the worst team for sure. I think now it's TL versus Cloud9 as well.
Yeah,
But
that's a doozy.
yeah,
That's a doozy right there in the first round.
I think against Nitas, other than the 0-2, the Lucian game, and some other, I think we have a pretty good record against them. I think last game we played against them, we demolished them in like 20 minutes. Yeah, it was the Impact 1v9 game, that one. Yeah.
Impact's
It's
had a
gonna
few-
be
Impact has had a
fun.
few of
We'll
those.
see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what
Okay.
happens.
What about general postseason prospects? Because as you talked about, you mentioned that you feel like EG is your own worst enemy when it comes to needing to find success. But I am curious, when you do look at those other squads, who you think is going to be your biggest competition on the trip towards an LCS title?
If you look at rosters, just Cloud9, just because of the players they have, and TL. I think
Cloud9, TL.
yeah, just I have a lot of respect for Core JJ and Alfari for TL, and Cloud9 just Perks Sven. To me, they play really good and know how to fake pressure. So
Okay.
yeah.
You sleeping on TSM?
We have a pretty good record against TSM.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Why do you think that
it's,
is? Is that a style thing? You think you guys are uniquely positioned to beat TSM where other teams struggle a bit more?
I mean, TSM playstyle is 3 people. Jungle and support are leaving mid, so PoE can play, and basically just yeah. If I don't die to that, then I'm 26 ahead on my own, and my team is winning because enemy jungle and support is leaving mid and ignoring top and bot. So and my jungle has a 30 CS lead or like jungle camp, So that's what always what happens against TSM.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, finally, Jizuke, I just want to get a sense from you as a player because I find it very interesting how critical a mind you seem to have when reflecting on the split, right? Again, in response to getting third, you said bittersweet, where I think a lot of people may have expected like more jubilation, to say the least. And so I'm just kind of curious for yourself, like how you balance that drive for perfection, that desire to be the best with where you're at now, and ultimately using that as motivation and fire to improve further throughout the playoffs and actually make sure you attain the goals that you set for yourself?
I think the most important thing about being a pro player is just not getting cocky. So like you wanna practice every day with the same goal, and you don't wanna get cocky, so you don't. Your opinions are not clouded, and you can play game by game like that. You know, even if we were 8-win streak, I cannot think, it's so fucking easy. Let's go tomorrow, like GG. You know, I cannot think like that. It's like it's bittersweet because I know we had the potential to even do a 13-14 win streak, and it's nuts to think because we started from 6th place, and I remember we were 1 win ahead of Immortals. Like Immortal was 7 and we were 6th, and then we rushed to the top or something. So to me, yeah, that's just I take it. Win or lose, I have the same mindset. I just strive to improve. Yeah.
Fair enough. I love that fire. Can't wait to see what Evil Geniuses can bring to us in the best of fives in the postseason. I do want to congratulate you on the 3rd place finish and for being, in my opinion, one of the most exciting teams to watch all split long. Thank you so much, Jizuke. And as Jizuke goes to celebrate with his squad, we are going to head to a commercial break. When we come back, it's the 5th and final game of the day, the last game of the regular season. It's CLG FlyQuest. We'll catch you here.
They've got to get the Mountain Drake here if they want to have any chance of being able to salvage this game, but no! It's stolen away at the last moment with a beautiful smite to end this game.